All right. Salty video. Not really, but my first disappointment of the year. Other than rubbing my appendix and having it almost burst, this is actually a little bit more disappointing. I just want to talk about this book, A Time of Blood, which I am exactly halfway through. I am on page 238. And so, for people who don't want any spoilers, who might, stumble upon this video, a subscriber or whatever, I've loved this series so far. And, the first is For the Faithful and the Fallen, one of my favorite all time. I really, really liked the first of the sequel series that happens about 130 years later, and I'm in the second book of that sequel series. And I'll just say this is my first disappointment of the year, but it's also my first disappointment so far with John Gwynne, which is like crap. And here's why. And I bet it's totally subjective. Has nothing to do with the writing quality. I think it's great. I still am enjoying it for, kind of. But here's what I have issues with. It's the first time with John Gwynne so far where I think, well, when we got through book one, and this is where I'm going to start talking kind of spoilers. When we got through book one of The Faithful and the Fall of the Fallen, Malice, and went into Valor, it went into this kind of chase sort of sequence. And I loved it. And we are getting that again. And there are a lot of things where it feels like we're getting it again. And I sort of am getting the same feeling that I got watching these newest Star Wars, right? Like with J.J. Abrams, where you think, oh, we're getting... It's almost like we're getting a version of what we got already. And I know a lot of authors will kind of do that to placate their audience and give them more of what they liked, but I don't like that. But this is what I mean. I don't feel like he's, I don't know, it feels a little bit like a knockoff in a way of his other series, but like a worse knockoff in some ways. Let me go through some of the characters with just what I mean. And thank goodness for Drem. If Drem and that party wasn't in this book, like, that is the saving grace. And I like Bleda. And, I'm going to sound super sexist. I don't like either of the female POVs in this one. I loved Sig in the book right before this. And what we lost in her amazing POV, we gained in maybe the worst, in my opinion, the worst POV so far in the series. I can't stand Frida. And you might be saying, well, it's good. She's being a bad guy. But like, I just don't buy her character. I think she's boring. I was excited to see her. I still kind of, the author has written in this reason why she's with the Catachem doing all this stuff, and I just haven't quite bought into it to the level where I think it's intended to be. And like Urd and all these other people, like, there's got to be something more where the Catachem's really brainwashing them, like, because she's just being too over the top with things. Anyway, I'm only halfway through, so we'll see where that goes. But I don't like, every time I get to her POVs, I like groan, and it's all about this half-breed daughter of Gullah that I just am not enjoying that. It's the first POV. Also, it seems like a cheap knockoff of the guy we get in Faithful and the Fallen, who thought he was all the chosen one. Veridus's boss, can't remember his name, and he got a Drem egg, and now, not a Drem egg, a Dreg egg, and now we have this Fritha. It just seems like we're getting more of what we got, but a worse version of the other one. Like, does anyone out there love Fritha compared to the other guy that we got in Faithful and the Fallen? Which I don't remember his name. Let's go through Jin. I still find her as, she's a serviceable character. She's very one note so far. Don't find her super interesting. Bleda, still just hasn't really popped off the page in either book yet for me. What has popped off in the first book were these like dark rituals they were finding, and like the whole call. The guy Israfur or whatever his name was in the first one who died. He was he was way more interesting than this Call. I think Call sucks, and Adonai was at least kind of interesting, and I feel like with both with especially the Catachem, but also with the Benelim, but I guess especially with the Catachem, I feel like you're watching one of those monster movies and you get too much of it, and then of like seeing the monsters, and it kind of gets away some of the magic and the spark. I feel like there was so much of this amazing tension and build up to seeing Gullah and this final thing in the first book, and then in this book it just is like it feels like we've gotten too much of, like, I don't know, it just hasn't paid off with the Catachem yet in the way that it was. Everything was looking good, and I just haven't enjoyed it. Dang it. Drem again. Olin and Drem was like such an amazing part of the last book, and in this one, I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in this white bear of theirs. This, like, I should really be interested in, but I'm not as interested in the pets. Flap or something just got, what was his name? The other crow. Not Flap. That's the problem when I don't do videos about the characters. I forget their names. Just got captured. And I'm like, all right. Dang. Again, it's like everything with the Fritha stuff. I'm just not buying her character. And anyway, let's keep going though. Alcyon, where are you at? Balor, like, I just want to get to freaking Dun Saren, and like I'm just not finding this chase stuff interesting, and all the politics with the Benelim. Like, I'm just not buying it. Colin, I love still. Flick, that's his name. Fen, Hammer. Like, I like that group. Fair enough. Killed. Varen. Okay. Let me get to Riv. Now, I do have a problem. You'd think I would love Riv, but I kind of notoriously hate when all of a sudden people can fly. And I mean, it's cool. I was confused why at the end of the book, like, all of a sudden she just like bursts these wings. Like, is that just a thing that happens? They're not born with wings, then just like, and anyway, I it was cool, but since then I've found her. You'd think it would give her more depth and interest, but like I just haven't found her interesting. And you know, some like the with the female characters, sometimes they can be one note in one way, and it feels so often that sometimes to remedy that, authors will do them one note in the other way, like instead of giving making them like a token damsel or you know like the love interest, the other way that they kind of become one note sometimes is by being like super moody and angry and and you know having all these tantrums and like, and I feel like she's just fallen into the token on the other side. So you know I hope I start to really like her, but man, I've just been so disappointed with this one. Let me see if there's anything else. Call again, like I'm running out of people that I like. They keep killing them off. Now, freaking right at the end of this one, it's going to be like, oh man, I'm suddenly just in love with Hadron, you know, or I'm going to be in love with Scorch for like a page, and then they're going to kill him off, and then I'll cry and be like, this is my favorite series again, and I love this book. But dang it, and I want Michael back. He's like the coolest. I'm waiting for that to happen. Astaroth. Yeah, kind of confused about the whole melding there. Morn is kind of, I don't know. And then Fritha, I just think, you know, I just don't buy it. And the whole thing with Gunnel, like, I'm pretty sure they're all possessed. At the end of this book, we're going to be like, Fritha's going to, like, you know, get knocked out of it or something. And because she was, like, already angry, that was, like, enough for the Catachem to, like, you know, like, turn her all the way or something to the dark side sort of thing. But who knows? Maybe she just is written as like a person who really just hates the Benelim and is doing all these stupid crazy, like, I just, this is my first disappointment of the year, and I'm so disappointed that it happened with John Gwynn. I thought he was going to be my rock that I could go to no matter what. And maybe it'll end up still good. But it makes me nervous about the, you know, his other one that he has, the Shadow of the Gods and the Hunger of the Gods. I hope it doesn't start great and have like another chase thing. And I hope I like the characters as much in that. But, you know, I just don't love them here yet. So anyway, I are disappointed so far, halfway through this, and I thought I'd give you an update. Sorry, I'm salty. I don't have an appendix, though. I'm allowed to be salty. Maybe I'll just take another painkiller and push through with this book. But I'm going through extra quick because I kind of just want it to be done. Which is a crappy way to read something. Dang. We'll see how it ends. If it ends good, I mean, I'm hoping for it because I really love John Gwynn and his characters. If it ends bad or poorly, I might have to step away from the series for a little bit and just come back with clearer eyes and stuff. Anyway, talk to you guys soon. Bye.